Day of Confinement is a game created by the evil gods of the universe to kill time. 20 years ago, this game known as Day of Confinement suddenly descended upon Earth, bringing huge disasters and opportunities to humanity. Humans on Earth are randomly selected and forced to participate in this game. This game is composed of dungeons with varying difficulties and rules. But what remains the same is that clearing a dungeon allows one to obtain powerful cards that can change their life. And the losers must pay the price with their own lives, remaining in the game forever. Everyone thinks they can defeat the boss, obtain S-rank cards, and become the final winner. But in the end, there was only one who survived the cruel game. He once believed that as long as he kept clearing stages, conquering dungeons, defeating bosses, and growing stronger, he could obtain everything he wanted. Only now did he finally understand that the ultimate ending of the game was to become a god. But this wasn't the ending he truly wanted. Therefore, he gave up on becoming one of the evil gods. A massive red creature appeared, its body a twisted mass of fleshy tendrils, with several glowing, eerie eyes staring from the darkness. Then it suddenly spoke to Luo Shi, calling him Earth's only clearer and the strongest player of the confinement game. It tempted him, saying that if he becomes one of them, he can gain eternal life, an endless lifespan. It told him that by joining them, he would obtain supreme divine power and dominate everything in the universe. It reminded him that on this planet, only the strongest player, him, the sole survivor, possesses this qualification. This creature asked if he was willing to give up the qualification to become a god. She answered that he was sure. He made the most rational decisions in every dungeon and became the sole game clearer. But along this path, he lost far too much. He lost his mother, his friends, and the person he loved. All of them lost their lives in this game. The red creature grew curious about what he truly wanted. He answered that he wanted a peaceful and boring daily life, a world where the people important to him were all living safely. He imagined his mother calling him to eat, his friend happily bringing him something, and his girlfriend making plans for their date. His heart ached as these memories resurfaced, because all of them were destroyed by these gods. The god then made him watch as they shattered the planet that carried all his memories. But what happens next is where everything changes. She took out a card. He wasn't affected by their boring threats. He calmly told the creature that he would be back. He knew that this S card, number 005, held a power that even this god could not control. He even remarked that those gods had actually created something impressive. But what exactly is this card capable of? Internally, he felt relieved that he had kept this card all this time. This was his one chance to make up for his regrets and let everyone live again. He used the S-rank time reversal card. It resets time itself. Everything returns to its original state, and all memories are erased, except for the user. A complete restart. A second chance to rewrite destiny. The god didn't expect that she had actually obtained this card. It found the situation amusing. Now it was even more interested in she. It began to look forward to the next time they would meet. The card's effect activated, and time reversal began. She warned the god to wash their necks clean and wait for his return, because the next time they meet, he will personally destroy them. This time, he won't let them take everything from him again. Time continued to rewind until he finally opened his eyes. He shot up, gasping for air, and after calming down, he realized he really came back. Seeing the hospital gown on his body, he quickly guessed that he was in Qingshan City Psychiatric Hospital. His mother walked in and gently asked if he had seen those bad things again. She told him not to be afraid. He froze the moment he saw her. In his previous life, after being dragged into the Day of Confinement game, he never saw his mother conscious again. Her mind had been trapped inside the game forever, while her real body became nothing more than a vegetable. The last time she spoke to him like this was years ago, so he hugged her tightly and told her how much he missed her. She became confused and flustered. She told him that she had always been there. Deep down, she even wondered if his condition had gotten worse again. The MC is Luo Shi, a patient in Qingshan City Psychiatric Hospital. Since childhood, he has suffered from severe dissociative identity disorder, commonly known as multiple personality schizophrenia. But what if none of it was just an illness? In fact, there really have been several people talking in his head. He knew it wasn't just random noise, but no one around him ever believed him. Because of this illness, he was stuck in a hospital bed, unable to work, unable to live normally, even unable to fall in love. But none of that matters to him now. A simple, peaceful life where everyone is alive. That's the life he had been dreaming of day and night. But he doesn't have much time left. He checked the time on his phone. It read 17:26. He clearly remembered that the descent of day of confinement happens on February 23rd at exactly 6 p.m. That leaves him with only 34 minutes of freedom, and every second counts. The game forcibly drags the player's consciousness into its world. Once pulled in, if you fail to clear it, you can never return. And if you die inside, your body in reality becomes a brain-dead vegetable. The very first time someone is pulled in, they are guaranteed to enter an E-rank starter dungeon. As for these starter dungeons, aside from a few tricky ones, most are actually easy, as long as you know the hidden rules. With his speed, he could finish writing everything in just 10 minutes. He needs to write it in a way his mother can understand. Only then can she remember the rules and increase her chances of surviving. And he has to prepare 2 copies, because Ching Zai will be arriving soon. This is the only way to save them. His mother told him it was fine to write, but he shouldn't push himself too hard. The doctor said he still needed rest. After that, she went downstairs to throw out the trash and gently closed the door behind her. She had been like this since he was a child. His father once wanted to abandon him, but his mother refused and insisted on getting him treated. After draining all their savings, his father still chose to leave, abandoning both him and his mother. From then on, his mother raised him alone. Even after exhausting days at work, she still took the time to teach him how to read. Back then, he didn't understand how much she endured. Only after losing everything did he realize that he had already been given everything from the very start. The door suddenly opened. This time, it was his friend Ching. He brought a bag of Xi's favorite tangerines. Xi greeted him, saying it had been a long time. Ching looked confused. To him, it hadn't been long at all. He had just visited 3 days ago. This buzzcut guy was Xi's only friend. When they were young, they lived in the same community. Back then, people who heard about his illness warned their kids to stay away from him. Some even bullied him just to prove how brave they were. He never understood why. That was how he met Ching. When he was being bullied, Ching stepped in and protected him. Then he simply declared that Xi was his friend. From that moment on, everything changed. But in Xi's previous life, Ching died miserably in a dungeon, sacrificing himself just to help him clear the game. Ching's last words were simple. He told Xi to keep living and win the game. So in this life, Xi swore he would never let that tragedy happen again. Ching asked what he was writing. He thought it was a novel and wanted to take a look. Xi told him it was a dungeon-clearing strategy guide. Ching was confused. He asked if the doctor really allowed him to play games. He got worried, since they said games could worsen his condition. Xi calmly replied that this was a game that had to be played. Ching suddenly lit up. He assumed it must be some kind of AAA masterpiece, so good that it had to be played no matter what anyone said. Xi confirmed it. He told him he was almost done writing and asked him to read it carefully. Then he instructed Ching to find his mother and make her read the other copy. Ching was surprised that even his mother would be playing. Xi told him not to worry about the details and just focus on reading it properly. He reminded him to memorize as much as possible, because at critical moments, this knowledge could save his life. Ching agreed, but he couldn't shake the feeling that Xi was acting strange that day. He left the room. To protect the people he cared about, and to defeat the evil gods. Xi's first priority was clear. He had to become the strongest player again. That meant clearing every dungeon, and collecting all 15 S-rank cards hidden across the game. In Day of Confinement, players can obtain different types of cards, from E-rank all the way to S-rank, by clearing dungeons or killing monsters. There are item cards, special cards, weapon cards, and attribute cards. Each one grants powerful abilities. But there are only 15 S-rank cards in total. Each one is unique, holding abilities that even the evil gods cannot control, just like the time reversal card he used. These cards are his only chance, his only opportunity. Only by gathering them can he gain the power to challenge the gods themselves. It was already 1758-59. Only 1 minute remained before the descent of Day of Confinement. This peaceful, ordinary life was about to end again. Suddenly, a message appeared. He had been selected as part of the first batch of players. The dungeon began loading, and his soul was forcefully extracted. Then, memories of the scenario flooded into his mind. This time, Xi made a vow. He would protect everything he holds dear, clear every dungeon, and rise to the top once again. And when that time comes, He will personally slaughter those evil gods who treated their world like a game. He opened his eyes to the world of Day of Confinement. The system welcomed him and wished him a pleasant game. The system identified player Luo Shi. The E-rank initial game dungeon Slaughter Company scenario had been created. The player's soul loading was complete. The system attempted to delete his real memories and prepared to implant the scenario memories. But the system encountered an error. The deletion of Shi's real memories failed. The dungeon boss was generated, and Ji was granted permission to freely explore the dungeon. The system wished him a pleasant game. Just as he expected, everything was exactly the same as his past life. The Day of Confinement dungeon felt almost identical to the real world. In rookie dungeons, players have their real memories erased, making them believe this world is reality. But for some reason, Shi's memories remained intact. Since everything matched his previous life, he already knew what was about to happen. Right now, he was inside the Day of Confinement game world, an E-rank initial dungeon called Slaughter Company. It looked like a normal office. People were sitting at desks, working like it was just another day. But that illusion won't last long. Slaughter Company is considered a low-level E-rank dungeon. But to clear it, he needs to kill 3 boss-level monsters. Each boss has different abilities, and the difficulty rises with each one. For beginners, this dungeon is actually deadly. He opened his character attribute panel. It displayed his name, Luo Shi. Level 0. Race, human. All other details, basic attributes, skills, and items were locked. Even the global player kill contribution ranking was inaccessible. The only thing unusual was an unidentifiable blessing. He quickly realized his current state. Right now, he was just a complete rookie. With his current strength, defeating all 3 bosses was impossible. First, he needed to activate his attributes. He wondered about the blessing. There was a high chance it was connected to his retained memories from his past life. But there was no time to dwell on that. His priority was clear: gain enough power to defeat the first boss. He started thinking of the fastest way to break this deadlock. Then something clicked. Inside this dungeon, there is a hidden side mission. If he can obtain attribute cards from it and plan carefully, clearing the dungeon becomes much easier. The dungeon officially starts at 11 p.m. He only had 10 minutes left. Just enough time to flip the entire game in his favor. There was one more issue keeping him there. It was the voice he heard during his rebirth. That same voice had echoed in his head since he was young, like an auditory hallucination. But this time, he could understand it much more clearly. This time, the voice was talking about saving Earth and defeating the evil gods. It told him that to win, he had to join forces with them. Only then would they stand a chance. It even suggested that if they could retain memories after the next reset, then next time, they could eliminate the gods together. The voice believed that she, who had returned to the past, could influence them, even if they had no memories right now. But who are they? He tried to figure out what it meant. Was it saying that by collecting the 15 S-rank cards, he could also gain their power? He headed to the restroom, but for now, he pushed those thoughts aside. He had arrived at his target location. His first goal was clear: trigger the hidden side mission and secure the reward treasure chest. The system notified him that he had reached a special coordinate location, and the hidden side mission was activated. The mission was called The Secret Hidden in the Men's Toilet Stall. Now that the prompt had appeared, it was time to complete the objective. A creature suddenly appeared. It had glowing red eyes, short horns, and a round, beast-like face. But instead of being terrifying, it looked more confused and annoyed. The toilet stall creaked open, identifying the creature as the urban legend ghost, Coward. This small but ferocious creature stood guard over a treasure chest. She glared at it and coldly told it to get lost, unless it wanted its head twisted off. The creature froze. Then it panicked and ran away. Just like that, he defeated the urban legend ghost, Coward, and claimed ownership of the treasure chest. Despite its role as a guardian, it was actually extremely weak. As long as someone intimidated it, it would flee without a fight. The treasure chest could contain either a reward or something far worse. Unfortunately, it required a key to open, but she didn't hesitate. He simply stomped on it. Now, the mysterious treasure chest was damaged. Many people get misled by the need for a key and miss this reward entirely. But as long as you let go of fear and overthinking, this mission is actually easy, even for beginners. Inside, he found exactly what he was looking for: The treasure chest contained 3 items: an E-rank stamina card, an E-rank agility card, and an E-rank strength card. Now he had the 3 basic attribute cards. With these, he could finally activate his player attributes. He used all 3 cards. His stamina, agility, and strength immediately increased. Agility increased to level 1 with a cap of level 5. The same applied to stamina and strength. The boost wasn't overwhelming, but it was clear and real. And, for the current Shi, it was already enough to face the 3 bosses. When he opened the system panel again, his basic attributes were finally visible. Once a player uses attribute cards and activates their panel, they officially become a player. Even at level 1, they are already beyond what normal humans can handle. Out of nowhere, he threw a punch at the wall. A dent formed instantly. With these stats and his past life combat experience, clearing this dungeon was now relatively easy. But he knew this was nowhere near enough. If he wanted to defeat those gods and protect everything this time, he had to use every advantage he could get, including the power behind that mysterious voice in his head. So he decided to investigate the unidentifiable blessing first. He called out, asking if the one who gave him the blessing was the same entity behind the voices. He demanded an answer. Even though he knew, there was almost no chance they would respond. Suddenly, a voice answered. It told him that it depends on him. A massive shadow appeared. His guard instantly went up. He scanned his surroundings, and then he saw them. Silhouettes, surrounding him from all sides. They told him they had been watching him all along. He asked who they were and why they helped him. They didn't give a direct answer. Instead, they told him if he wants their help, he has to prove his value first. They told him to go fight. Time was almost up. Shi didn't hesitate. If gaining their power meant a better chance at defeating the gods, then he would prove himself. The system announced that the countdown was about to end. The boss had been generated, and conquest mode was activated. All players were welcomed to the Day of Confinement world. The current dungeon was an E-rank challenge. The boss was descending, and players were advised to prepare. But there was a catch. Once the countdown ends, any player who leaves their workstation will be judged as having failed the conquest. The countdown had already started. There's only 48 seconds left on the timer. Less than a minute remained. But with his agility boost, Ji knew he could make it. He sprinted at full speed. As long as he reached the gate in time, he would survive. Miss it, and it's instant death. The timer dropped to 18 seconds. Some thugs started complaining about the countdown. The one with the mohawk refused to play along. The bald, chubby thug beside him even threatened to smash everything if they weren't released. She ran straight past them, just as expected. No matter when, there are always idiots who fail to understand the situation. The timer hit 0. She made it inside safely. Meanwhile, the ones who stepped outside, their heads exploded. Blood splattered across the floor and windows. Everyone froze in shock. Fear spread instantly as they realized, this game is real. In this place, if you don't follow the rules, you die. The gate slammed shut behind them, and the atmosphere instantly changed. Something worse was coming. A warning message appeared. The boss of this level was about to spawn. Players were advised to find weapons nearby and prepare to face the E-rank boss. Cleaner Squad. People couldn't accept it. They shouted, demanded answers, begged to be let out. Then, several silhouettes appeared, laughing. The first boss had arrived. To clear this dungeon, all bosses must be defeated. The cleaners began their work. At the front was the cleaning captain, level 2, an E-rank boss. It had level 1 stamina, level 2 agility, and level 4 strength. Its skill boost was level 2. It wielded a steel broom and a sharp dustpan, both E-rank weapons. Its skill, Cleaning Specialization, increases its strength by 1 level when using cleaning tools. Behind it were the general cleaners, level 1 E-rank monsters. Each had level 1 stamina, agility, and strength. They carried steel brooms as weapons, but had no special skills. And this is just the first boss. One person asked what kind of monsters these were, and what E-rank even meant. A muscular man stepped forward and told everyone not to be afraid. He confidently said he would take them down with his bare hands. His tone was full of arrogance. She immediately warned him not to go. He told him these things cannot be judged by common sense and advised him not to act recklessly. Even if those monsters were only level 1, as long as their attributes were above 0, they were already beyond what a normal human could handle. Thinking he could defeat a boss with brute force alone was pure fantasy. The man snapped back at him, telling him to shut up, especially since she was the last one who barely made it inside earlier. He believed she only survived because of luck, and that he had no right to give advice. This muscular guy had played plenty of games before. He noticed that the leaderboard was based on global kill contribution points, not just kills, and it was still locked. In his mind, as long as he landed the first hit, he could secure a high rank. He also believed that a game this dangerous must come with huge rewards. He was already imagining becoming a billionaire after returning to reality. Wealth, luxury, women, mansions, everything waiting for him. So he charged in. To him, this monster was just a stepping stone. But in the next instant, the cleaning captain swung, and his head was cut clean off. It rolled across the floor. Everyone froze in horror. Then chaos broke out. The cleaning squad began their work. People ran in panic, screaming, trying to escape. But there was nowhere to run. They begged to be released, but it was already too late. Most of them had already been hit. She moved. He stepped in and punched a general cleaner, declaring that its opponent was now him. Had increases strength by 1 if it's level 5 or below. The cleaner was sent flying and slammed into the wall. She shouted to the others that if they wanted to survive, there was only one way: kill the boss. If he wanted to grow stronger and obtain S-rank cards to defeat the gods, then killing these low-level bosses was a necessary step. The others were stunned. Someone was actually fighting back. And not just that, he was winning. They couldn't believe it. The muscular guy had been killed instantly, yet this person was standing his ground. But then, the monster was still moving, even after that hit. She didn't hesitate. He slammed it into the ground with another punch, and this time, its body began to fade. It was dead. The system only gives a reward notification once a monster is truly dead. If there's no notification, it means the job isn't finished, so it's always safer to finish it off completely. From this kill, she obtained a steel broom, an E-rank weapon that increases strength by +1. The system also displayed that he killed a level 1 cleaning worker and received a strength card, an E-rank card that increases strength by 1 if it's level 5 or below. The people were stunned. He had just killed the monster like it was nothing. They started questioning who he was, and how he could be even stronger than the muscular guy. Low-level monsters can drop 1 to 3 cards: strength, agility, or stamina. Right now, she desperately needed stats, so any card he got was valuable. He used the card, raising his strength to level 2. Another general cleaner approached him. It was an E-rank monster with level 1 strength. In the world of Day of Confinement, once a player's stats are activated, even a 1-level difference creates a huge gap. She now had level 2 strength, plus an additional +1 from his weapon. The monster attacked, but it stood no chance. She swung his steel broom and killed it instantly. This time, he received another strength card, an E-rank card that increases strength by 1 if it's level 5 or below. With that, his strength reached level 3. Suddenly, he sensed danger. Another general cleaner rushed at him. She reacted instantly and cut its head off. An attack like that was far too slow. After killing it, he obtained an agility card, an E-rank card that increases agility by 1 if it's level 5 or below. Agility was crucial for survival. This was exactly what he needed. At that moment, the cleaning captain and the remaining cleaner locked onto him, calling him hateful trash. The game has an aggro system. The more monsters a player kills, the more likely they are to be targeted. The stronger you perform, the more dangerous it becomes. The cleaning captain's skill, Cleaning Mastery, gives it an additional 2 levels of strength. Charging in head-on against multiple enemies right now would be reckless. He needed to weaken them first, take them down one by one. They faced off. Then she moved. He started running while shouting to the others. If they didn't want to die, they should throw objects at the monsters to slow them down. That would create openings for him to finish them off. Since he was holding all the aggro, the others were relatively safe. All they had to do was support him from a distance. At the same time, he was testing them. If any of them showed potential, he could bring them along for future dungeons. The more people who understand how to clear stages, the more lives can be saved. But the others hesitated. If they acted, they might draw the monster's attention, and once targeted, they would die. So they stood there, unsure, watching Shi fight alone, believing he might be able to handle everything by himself. Shi noticed that everyone was frozen in fear. Not a single one of them dared to move. He quickly realized if he waited for them, nothing would happen. He would have to create his own opening. The cleaning captain suddenly lunged at him, but right before it reached him, a keyboard slammed into its face. She paused for a split second. Someone actually acted. It was a nerdy-looking guy. The others immediately got angry at him for interfering, but he snapped back, saying that she was fighting for all of them. If they helped him, they could all survive. For once, someone understood the situation. One man grabbed him by the collar and argued back, saying there was no way people like them could fight those monsters. At that moment, the cleaning captain spoke. It declared that trash should be cleaned. Now that they had its attention, they ran. The nerdy guy shouted to Shi that he had already drawn the aggro, so he should take the chance. Shi didn't hesitate. He dashed forward and cut down 2 general cleaners in one motion. With his current stats, the difference was overwhelming. The cleaning workers couldn't even resist. They were one-shotted. Now, only the boss remained. From the defeated cleaners, he obtained 2 cards, an E-rank agility card and an E-rank strength card. The cleaning captain raised its weapon, about to strike the nerdy guy. It repeated that trash must be cleaned. The man screamed for help. Then, Ji appeared behind it. He calmly said that the real trash was standing right here. And in the next instant, he cut off its head. The system immediately announced his victory over the stage boss. Then the player contribution rankings appeared. Ji stood at rank 1, with 700 points. Ji felt a surge of anticipation. The player who ranks first receives S-rank card number 0001. In his previous life, he never obtained this card, and every S-rank card holds terrifying power. So, this time, he wanted to see just how strong number 0001 really is. Looking at the rankings, it was clear that most players hadn't unlocked any skills yet, but Shi knew staying at first place wouldn't be easy. After all, this ranking includes every player across the world who was pulled into the initial stage. The day of confinement began everywhere at the exact same time. In his previous life, even though he survived until the very end, there were already many powerful players right from the start. Each of them had unique abilities that others couldn't replicate. Even now, after being reborn, he couldn't afford to underestimate them. Every time a player clears a stage, rewards are distributed based on ranking. From the next stages onward, he would need to clear them efficiently, maximizing his points and firmly securing first place. If he wanted to defeat the evil gods, he needed power far beyond what he had in his previous life. And for that, he had to obtain S-rank card number 001. He had just defeated the first phase boss of Slaughter Company, the cleaning captain. As a reward, he obtained 1 E-rank stamina card, 2 E-rank agility cards, and special cards like E-rank cleaning and E-rank iron embryo. He was especially glad to see the iron embryo. That alone made this run incredibly lucky. This card allows the user to create an E-rank weapon that matches their aura. Iron Embryo is an E-rank special card. When activated, it forges a personalized iron weapon based on the user's aura, with a chance of becoming something even more special. Among all weapons, swords are considered the highest tier, known as the Emperor of 100 weapons, or even the King of 100 weapons. If luck is on his side, this could change everything. He glanced at the nerdy guy behind him. At first glance, he didn't look brave at all, but at the critical moment, he still chose to act. Being able to read the situation and step up anyway, that's what makes a true player. If trained properly, this guy could help save even more people. She thanked him for drawing the boss's attention earlier. The nerdy guy replied that only she could actually kill those monsters. If she had gone down, everyone would have died. So in the end, he was just helping himself. She smiled slightly and praised his judgment. Then he handed him 3 cards, stamina, agility, and cleaning. The first 2 would awaken his player attributes, while the cleaning card could remove negative effects during mental stress. The guy hesitated. He felt that she needed those cards more, but she insisted. Without that distraction earlier, things could have gone badly. Those rewards were earned. He then showed him how to use them. The second round was about to begin, so she needed to increase his stats quickly. He used another card on himself. The system updated immediately. His strength and agility rose to level 4, while his stamina remained at level 1. Watching this, the nerdy guy finally understood how it worked. For the first time, he felt the effect of raising his stats. His body suddenly felt lighter, faster. Then he checked his own status panel. His name was Xu Wen, level 0, with 70 out of 100 experience. His stamina and agility were both at level 1. His skills and items were still locked, and he hadn't obtained any equipment yet. He was surprised to see that he had gained experience, even though he hadn't killed a single monster. She explained that it was because he had attacked the boss. When she finished it off, Wen still received shared experience. On top of that, leveling up gives a small boost to all stats, though not as much as attribute cards. Wen then asked what level she was now. She replied that he was level 4. Hearing that, Wen couldn't hide his excitement. That level was already considered very high. Xi's current stats were level 4 with 20 out of 500 experience. His strength and agility were both level 4, while his stamina remained at level 1. His skills and items were still locked, and he hadn't obtained any item cards. Back in his previous life, he had never received a random card like this. So now, he was curious what kind of weapon his aura would create. The orb in his hand began to shift. Slowly, it took form. A blue vein sword appeared, a sword-type weapon, growth type, final grade, unknown, current grade, E. Its exclusive skill was Sky-Rending Slash. Each attack builds blood energy inside the blade. Once all nodes turn completely red, it can unleash a powerful sword wave. Its special trait, every 10 levels, it grants a random new skill. The weapon is permanently bound to the wielder through a soul brand, meaning it cannot be lost, stolen, traded, or dropped even after death. She was satisfied. A growth-type sword was already a great pull, and the fact that it came with a skill made it extremely rare. Even if it was only E rank now, once fully charged, it could rival C rank combat power. Wen stared at him in disbelief. Calling something like that not bad made him realize that she was on a completely different level. In his previous life, she wielded an S-rank weapon, the Flame Dragon Shadow. Compared to that, this sword still had a long way to go, but since it could evolve, its future potential was limitless. The system announced that all players had cleared the first stage. Cleaning crew. Immediately after the second stage was revealed, staff cafeteria. All players were instructed to head to the second floor and enter the cafeteria. Anyone who failed to arrive before the countdown ended would be eliminated. The timer started at 5 minutes. Everything was exactly the same as his previous life. Back then, he was just a helpless beginner. Nothing like who he was now. She asked Wen if he wanted to come with him. Wen hesitated for a moment, asking if he really could. She needed people like him, those who could think. It would help him clear stages faster and support his plans later on. Wen had already proven he qualified. Wen agreed without hesitation. He said he was willing to follow him. She nodded and brought him along. Meanwhile, the others started speaking up. Some begged to join. Some rich individuals even offered money. Others said they would do anything, as long as she would take them with him. Then a group of bullies blocked his path. They argued that since she had the power to save people, he should take everyone along. They accused him of being selfish, even saying he treated their lives as worthless. Xi's expression turned cold. He told them that if they kept blocking his way, he wouldn't mind treating them like monsters too. The group immediately backed off. The others could only stare. The look in his eyes was enough to silence everyone. Wen quietly asked if he really wasn't going to bring them. She replied that by killing the boss, he had already saved them, but they lacked the courage to act. Bringing them along would only slow him down later. He wasn't here to save everyone. He wasn't that kind of hero. If anything, he was selfish. All he wanted was to save the people he cared about. Wen understood. He promised that he would do his best and never become a burden. She gave him a quick briefing. The next boss would be the chef. There would likely be mental corruption involved. If he couldn't endure it, he should immediately use the cleaning card. Wen imagined it as some kind of debuff skill. They arrived at the staff cafeteria and were instructed to take a seat to begin the second phase. Wen noticed the smell. It was surprisingly good. For a moment, he thought maybe there wasn't any danger yet. Then, a black shadow surrounded by red mist appeared. It calmly announced, 1 minute remaining. Wen felt a chill run down his spine. She explained that those figures were executioners, the ones who deal with latecomers. Wen quickly connected it to what happened earlier when players who failed to enter the office on time had their heads blown off. She chose a seat. They were the first to arrive. Wen found it strange. The distance between the office and the cafeteria wasn't far at all, so there was no reason for people to be late. She calmly explained that those who make the right decision quickly will always make it in time. But most people hesitate. They waste precious seconds worrying about things that don't matter. Only at the very last moment do they finally choose the correct option they were afraid to face. 52 seconds remained. Just as she predicted, people started rushing in. Regret was written all over their faces. They had wasted time up